let's start with the NFC. And so you're going to make your picks.
Ooh.
You're going to go, you do the bracket, you go all the way through. You say who's going to play who, you say where the game's going to be. So let's first take a look at the DraftKings Sportsbook odds for the NFC. Who's favored to win the championship? You got the Eagles at plus 250, probably no surprise there. 49ers second choice. Then you got the Cowboys. Then you do have a little bit of a drop-off.
Yeah.
I'm scared because my Lions are still somehow fourth there. I'm very nervous about them this year. High expectations, don't like that. Then you got the Saints, Seahawks, Vikings, and Falcons. Your Giants are on the second column.
Yeah.
With the Bears right behind them. That is surprising to me.
Definitely some surprising things there. I'm surprised the Seahawks are below the Saints, at least, for sure. I can understand the Lions. I don't think they should be below the Lions either. Honestly, I'm a little surprised it's not Eagles, 49ers, Cowboys, Seahawks. I think that is surprising to me. And then, yeah, we got a handful of teams after that I look at that I go, they're a playoff caliber teams, right? You heard my top four. Of course, the Lions, the Saints, the Vikings, the Falcons, the Giants, the Packers, and the Commanders, I think are all playoff caliber teams. Bears, I got to see more, and I'm not going to say they are at this point. Panthers, no way. Rams, absolutely not. I mean, pitiful, okay? Cardinals, absolutely not. They're giving up this year for next year, the first pick.
Yeah.
Right? And then the Buccaneers, I don't see that either.
Weak division for the Buccaneers. I almost feel like there's maybe some value there if just stuff goes crazy in that division.
I mean, a few injuries there, something like that.
Yeah.
But there's just too many question marks for me overall with the Buccaneers for me to throw them into the playoffs. I hope I didn't, ruin one of your teams that you picked there.
No. I will tell you, though, I do have two teams in that second column in the playoffs.
Right.
I won't give it away who, but I do have two of those teams in the playoffs right now.
Okay, cool. And the other thing, just like, too, the Cardinals, that's going to be interesting. It is. I'm interested to see where this is going with them, with all the trading of the assets, the player. It's a yard. The players. It's
what
a
do you
yard
mean
sale.
where it's going? Like 0 wins this year? You're
Well,
saying?
no, they don't want to go 0 for 17. I think they like the number one pick. I think they'd probably like to go like 4 and 13 or 5 and 12, and then have assets. And if they have to trade up, they can.
Yeah.
But like, what do you? I think there's strong sentiment in the NFL that the Cardinals are trying to get the number one and be the number one pick to take Caleb Williams, period. And that's, of course, going to put Kyler Murray on the trade market. But I think that sentiment is – I know what's going around the NFL right now. Yeah.
So if you're Kyler, he's coming back when?
He's coming. He's going to – right now on the PUP, so he's not going to be able to come back till after week 6, right? So we'll see where it goes. But, yeah, it seems like a total rehaul of philosophy and just organizational directionness there.
Which for him, maybe he's like, thank you. I don't want to be part of this. This seems like a lengthy process, and I'd rather go somewhere else.
Yeah,
so
we'll see where that goes. I didn't mean to change the gears there, but I just thought it was an interesting thing.
All right, so how should we do this? Should we go division by division and who you got
winning? You want to go the
winning?
4 champs? Yeah, let's go 4 champs first. You want to do that?
Let's do that
I think it's a good, easy way to do it. You want me to go to my 1, 2, 3, 4 seeds right here, off the bat?
Yeah, let's do it. Your 4 division winners in the NFC.
My 4 division winners.
Starting with the bye. Who gets the bye?
And that will be the Philadelphia Eagles once again. Okay, the Philadelphia, and like we talked about, the Eagles, to me, have a pretty favorable early season schedule, too, to where if they have a Super Bowl hangover, whatever, but they're just too talented of a team, and I just don't see them falling off much. I really don't. I know there's lost safeties, different linebackers. There's still too much talent on the football team overall to think that they're not going to be towards the top of football. So they are the number 1 seed.
There are some people that do think that with the guys they lost on defense,
sure.
They did replace them in the draft, but they've lost some of the key pieces from that team.
They got some guys at middle linebacker that we got to see, Nakobe Dean and that there, and of course they signed some veteran guys. I know Miles Jack retired. They got some young guys. One of our Illinois boys in the secondary, Sidney Brown, he's going to be the starting safety there. Mm-hmm. He's been very good when I watch him. But I don't think it's going to be as big a deal as people think. And I'll go off of this too. I think Sean Desai, their new D coordinator, is going to be a boost for them. I do. I'm a big fan of him. He's kind of from the Vic Fangio school of coaching. He's going to run that type of scheme. They have that type personnel. I think it'll be a different look, so where teams are going to be like, whoa, this is a different scheme. We got to get used to this. How are they attacking? So I think that plays into the advantage of the Eagles.
All right.
2 seed 49ers.
So they're the team knocking on the door.
They're knocking on the door. Exactly right. I take them 2 seed. In the North, okay?
Oh, boy.
I am going with the Green Bay Packers, the number 3 seed.
I knew you would do something
I'm going
like that.
Green Bay Packers. And in the South.
You saw, hold on, with the Packers, as you saw in the odds, they're not even the 2 most likely team, according to Vegas, to win that division. The Vikings are there.
They're the 4th likely team.
That's right. They're behind the
Bears.
Bears.
The Bears are there,
You're
too.
Right.
So, to me, if you want to jump on something right now, that's the one to jump on. I know, there's a lot of shiny objects with the other teams in that division that people are latching onto. Oh, Justin Jefferson passing yards. Oh, Justin Fields might be good fantasy. Oh, the Lions didn't go to the playoffs but looked like a playoff team.
Yeah.
I still look at it and I just go, like you've heard me say the last few weeks, I think the Packers are the most complete football team. I'm a believer in Jordan Love enough that I think he can help win football games. He's not going to be a superstar, but he's going to be good enough to where he's not going to be the downfall of their team, and I think they'll play a well-rounded full game that way.
Well, yeah, and it's going to sound funny because Aaron Rodgers has been so great and was an MVP recently here, but it wasn't like he was what we've seen from Aaron Rodgers in the past. It wasn't like we were watching the Packers play last year and be like, Aaron Rodgers is carrying them.
No.
Right?
No, that was one of the first years, I think, in a long time we didn't have that thought. And, it was a year where we went, man, Rodgers is missing some plays. There's things there to be had, right?
Not explosive. It wasn't his explosive
it wasn't
plays.
explosive. It was a little, exactly. You know me. I was on him a little bit for not being aggressive, throwing the ball in some tight windows, hanging in the pocket a little bit, right? Those were the issues there. I don't think you're going to have that with Jordan Love, but I think there was the other circumstances filtered over to the field too.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was all the off-field drama, whether it was, Bakhtiari not being there at left tackle, whether, the rookie receivers that they're trying to bring along on the fly. You can, of course, blame Aaron Rodgers, a part of that problem, too. I understand that. And then the defense was underwhelming. The defense, I will be shocked if it's not better. So I'm taking the Packers there.
Okay.
And then in the South, rise up. I'm going Falcons.
Oh.
I'm going Falcons. I'm going Atlanta. Every year in the playoffs, there's always 2 or 3 new teams to the party, and my two new teams this year are the Falcons and the Packers, because as a 5 seed, I'm going to continue on if that's okay, everybody. I'm going the Seahawks as a 5 seed. I am going to go Cowboys as the 6 seed, and I'm going to go the New York Football Giants as the 7 seed. The G-Man. So that's where I stand. Now, I got some trepidation. I know I left the Lions out. I know I left the Saints out. The Saints are those are two teams that I look at to go, that was hard to do. They made me think a lot. But I guess I just believe in these teams a little bit more, the way the schedule sets up, their coaching, and, those other teams are just a little bit of an element to where it's like, there's just a little more I got to see it to believe it factor that goes on with them.
So your Falcons pick, I've heard a lot lately.
You have heard a lot of that?
I have heard that because they have, defied expectations a little bit last year, and it wasn't with great quarterback play.
No, 2 years in a row, 7-10, surprising people.
Yeah, it seems like Arthur Smith has figured out a way and playing to the strengths of that football team, so I'm not surprised with that. We have some differences in my picks here, which is good because I am putting my Detroit Lions in.
Of course,
as much as I am a
if you didn't
skeptical
do it,
Lions fan,
we're gonna put you on blast here, so you better ride or die with your Lions.
Now I hope people understand. Like I want the Lions to win the whole thing. I do, but I have been hurt many times by the Detroit Lions, and oftentimes the most pain comes when the expectations are the highest. So that's why.
When were they ever high though?
Very rarely. Very rarely. Never this high. I feel like they've never been this high, maybe in my lifetime.
I don't remember it ever this high. I can't ever remember. Like even when the prime Barry Sanders, early 90s, nobody was expecting them to go to the NFC Championship game that year.
No.
And I don't think anybody was expecting much of them the year after. I don't remember thinking like, oh, the Lions will be back. Watch out, right? So
there was a year they had Scott Mitchell.
Ever.
They had Scott Mitchell one year, and it was like, oh, this could be a good year, and it was a playoff team. But yeah, this is almost too much for the Detroit Lions to handle. And I've heard some people that have been around the club, like they know it too. It's like they're not totally used to having this spotlight on them and this much pressure and expectation. So I'm worried about the Lions, but I have them in. I have the Saints over the Falcons, so that's reasonable, right? I feel like
that's not
got the best quarterback.
That to me is the two teams. Those are the two teams to pick in that division, in my opinion.
Yeah, and so I don't have the Falcons in. I don't have the Seahawks in, so you're going to disagree with that one.
Wow, okay.
I don't have them, and they were borderline last year, but you think they've gotten better than they were last year.
I would expect them to be better, but that's okay. Go ahead. Let me hear the
because
rest of them.
Because you didn't put the Lions in,
yeah,
I'm taking the Giants out, and I'm putting in the Washington Commanders. I'm putting in the Commanders.
I think the Commanders are the other team that I was going to bring up because I didn't mention them, but them, the Lions, the Saints were the three teams that I looked at that I went, man, there's a lot of playoff quality aspects about this football team. Mm-hmm. Man, it's hard to leave them out. But, like you said, you got to make some tough choices.
You have to.
And that one, it really just came down to, hey, it's a young quarterback. It's a tough division they're in. It's another one where I'm going to lean on that phrase a little bit here when you got to tell the future. I got to see it to believe it a little bit where at least I've seen some from these other groups. And I know the Falcons, I'm taking a little bit of a shot there.
Ron Rivera's seen it, though, from Sam Howell and saying that he should have seen more of it last year. How about that comment?
I don't think I saw that one. He said that this weekend. He said,
correct me if I'm wrong here, Pete, but I saw it. It was when it got to the end of the year and he saw Sam Howell play.
Yeah.
He regretted not playing him sooner. He didn't realize he was quite as good as
ready as he was.
As ready as he was.
Yeah. Well, he was still in a struggle. What happened and what stunk for that process is they were still kind of in the playoff picture late in the year.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to give it up, right? He was still like, wait, do I really want to just hand it over to Sam Howell when, we need a little help here, but we could still get in. And I think that kind of screwed over that process. I mean, I can't fault him for that. That's for sure.
I agreed with you on the Packers. I think they're in. 49ers are in. Cowboys are in. Eagles are in. So those are the ones we agreed on there.
Okay.
So now we play it out. Let's do the bracket.
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's hear it for you.
All right. So, the number one seed, the Eagles, have a bye.
They have a bye.
All right. So, first round, we got 49ers, Giants. And I'm going to go with the 49ers. Giants traveling across the country to play the San Francisco 49ers. Yes, I'm going to go to the 49ers. They move on to the divisional round. The 3-6 matchup, Packers, Cowboys. Ooh. Okay? These are ones where I could see the Packers being the 3 seed and the Cowboys coming into town and having the same record as them, really.
Yeah.
Right? I could see that being this year throughout the NFL playoffs, AFC and NFC. I could see it being very jumbled up and close, the way the schedules are set up. I'm taking the Cowboys. Cowboys go on the road, beat Green Bay in Green Bay. Falcons at home, hosting the Seattle Seahawks, right? I'm going to go Seattle, pulls off the upset there, and they move on to the next round. So that will leave us with the 1 Eagles hosting the 6 Cowboys.
Okay. Oof.
And then the 2 49ers hosting the 5 Seahawks. So we have 2 divisional matchups in the division rounds, which I don't love doing. Like, there was a part of me that was like, man, do I reorganize this just so that doesn't happen?
So I don't put it out into the world and make it happen.
But when it all came done, I was just like, this is what I believe, and I'm just going to go with it. All right. So Eagles, Cowboys, divisional round. I'm taking the Eagles. Right. Always scary in these type of matchups. Really, like to the point where I went, third time that year. Right. Mm-hmm. I could certainly see one of these divisional matchups being an upset because it's just like, oh, we got to play the team that knows us once again, right? And let's not forget, the 49ers, Seahawks played each other in the wild card last year, and Seahawks gave them a real run for their money the whole first half, right? 49ers, Seahawks, so I'm still going with the 49ers, which is going to give us a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game once again. It'll be Brock Purdy and the 49ers going to Philadelphia to play the Eagles in Philadelphia, and this time they get their revenge. And the 49ers will go to the Super Bowl in the NFC.
Purdy stays healthy in the game.
Purdy stays healthy.
Hargrave gets his revenge.
Right. And with the 49ers, I honestly, you're right. You're right. With Hargraves gets his revenge.
Right?
Yeah. You were like, I'm not. Did he go there for sure? But the one thing that feels me comfortable, with the 49ers is their backup quarterback situation. I thought about, like, man, the 49ers every year, it's a quarterback injury. I mean, do I just kind of play that angle that it's going to happen at some point?
Yeah.
And I thought, well, yeah, maybe Brock Purdy does get hurt, but this might be, one of the more comfortable backup situations they've had in a long, long time here with Sam Darnold off the bench. So if he has to hold down the fort for a period of time, I don't have any doubt that he can do that.
So we should have said this at the top of the pod. Spoiler alert,
What?
right? Because you're giving away the whole playoff picture. If you didn't want to know who's going to win the NFC Championship game, you shouldn't have listened to this podcast, is what we're saying.
Yeah, right.
We're giving away the answers.
Because last year I was spot on.
That's
in
what
the
I'm
NFC.
saying,
Yeah,
right? You did have the Eagles and 49ers.
Cancel the season. Just go. Let's fast forward.
Which is why you shouldn't have put those divisional matchups in the divisional round, because we don't want to see that again. I don't go all the way through like you do, but
ahead.
I do. I will tell you who my team emerging from the NFC
Who was
is.
like your final? Who do you see in the championship game? If you had to just.
I didn't even do the championship.
All right. So
game.
who's your team? You got to go in the Super Bowl. Who is it?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Ew, okay.
Coming out of the NFC. We did the roster thing, and they were right there with the Eagles and 49ers in my mind.
I don't doubt it either. This wasn't as last year where I went, 49ers and Eagles slam dunk, right? It's hard for two teams to just hold down the fort 2 years in a row. Mm-hmm. And I do think the Seahawks got better and the Cowboys got better. I do. So, is it crazy to think that there could be some sort of upset in that game right there and we could be seeing Eagles-Seahawks or maybe 49ers-Cowboys or something like that in there? Yeah. I don't think that's far-fetched at all. I don't think their talent is that far below those top two teams.
The funny thing is that the Cowboys are never an overlooked team, and of course people are talking about them a lot, but I don't know how many people actually will pick them to go
to the
far.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, because of the problems that Dak Prescott obviously has had in the postseason. But it's funny because I feel like their roster and their talent level is a Super Bowl team, and they're the Dallas Cowboys. You'd think that so many people would be picking them, but just recent history.
I think they got a little Detroit Lions going on. Everyone just thinks it'll fall off at some point. They'll mess it up or whatever.
Which they probably will.
But their talent is worthy, and that would be big news if they got even to the NFC Championship, because they have not been there since 1995. Right, and that would be big news. And I don't think you're crazy at all by having the Cowboys in there.
They're going to play the 49ers in the championship game.
49ers? All right. Yeah. Okay. That's the third year in a row. Big playoff matchup between them. That'll be personal.
That would be a fun one to
Cowboys
watch.
have lost 2 in a row against them. They're going to want a revenge if that happens.
Yo, thanks for watching, homies. I appreciate it. As always, the NFL season is right around the corner, so now it's your turn to hit subscribe to Chris Simms Unbuttoned. If you want to get all the training camp battles, preseason film review, playoff predictions, and much, much more, you know where to find it. It's right here, Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Please subscribe. Thanks again for watching. Peace out, homies. See you soon.